Hello, Williams class. For your maths lesson today, here is your arithmetic. It is as follows. 8 times 9. What is half of 250? What is 501 as a Roman numeral? What number is next in the sequence? 21, 25, 29, 33. 7 times 3. 48 divided by 8. A tenth of 30. 7,421 plus 1,527. 6,984 take away 3,442. 24 divided by 4. Have a go at answering these questions. Pause the video, and then when you unpause, we will get started with today's lesson. The learning objective for today's lesson is, can I compare areas of shapes? So by the end of the lesson, you will know how to use the correct symbols to compare area, and you will be able to show that shapes can have the same area but different shapes. Here is a quick challenge for you. Which one is different? Now, the way in which to work out which one is different, you have to calculate the area of each shape. So let's calculate the area of A first. What is the area? If you said 30 squares, you are absolutely correct. Let's move on to B. What is the area of B? Remember to count the squares. Now, if you calculated the area of this to be 29, you are correct. Next, let's work out the area of C. Let's count the squares. Now, if you calculated 30, you are correct. What about the area of D? Let's count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So D is 30. What about the area of E? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So the area of E is 30 squares. So which one is different there? B, because B is the only shape with an area of 29 squares. The other shapes have an area of 30. So, next question. Count the number of squares and complete the comparison. So let's count the number of squares first then. If we look at shape A, how many squares does shape A have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So shape A has 11 squares. What about shape B? If you said 12, you are correct. So, which shape is larger, A or B? Good, it would be B. Shape B is larger than shape A. So how much larger or smaller is the area of the shape? So how much larger is shape B than A? What do you think? Shape B is 12 squares and shape A has an area of 11 squares. If I was to start by saying shape B is how many squares bigger? Look at the difference between 11 and 12. 1. So 1 square larger than shape A. Full stop. So shape B is 1 square larger than shape A because square B is 12 squares and shape A has an area of 11 squares. So you just find the difference. How much more do you need to count from 11 to get to 12? Just 1. Now we're going to use these signs to compare the area of these shapes. So we have our first sign here. So I'm going to write it here. Now this sign means less than. Then we have this sign over here, and that means greater than. You could also say more than as well. Then we have a sign that we've seen definitely a lot, and that means equal to. So I'm going to use a different color just to separate them. So that is one, that is another, and that is our third sign. So the way in which I like to remember these symbols is by thinking about them as mouths. So this part here is the mouth. So the mouth is facing the number that's here. And the way you need to think about it is, if you compare it to a crocodile's mouth, which you might have done already in school, you have to think about it in the way that the crocodile likes to eat as much food as possible. So the crocodile's mouth should always be facing the bigger number, because we want him to have as much food as possible because he has a really, really big appetite. So remembering that, then, let's begin by calculating the areas of both of these shapes. So let's start by calculating the area of shape C. Count the squares and work out the area. So I calculated it to be, I'm going to write it at the top, 21. What's the area of D? I calculated D to be 21 as well. So what sign would you use to compare these shapes? Would you use this sign, or this sign? Let's see if you're correct. So I'm going to say shape C is equal to shape D. That's what you would write here. Because both of those shapes have an area of 21, they're equal to each other, they're the exact same. So you put shape C on one side, put the equal sign, and then shape D. So shape C is equal to shape D. Let's try this question. Tick the shape with the larger area. So the steps with this is to calculate the area of this shape, calculate the area of this shape, and then tick the shape that has a bigger number. Off you go. So this shape here has an area of 5 because it has 5 squares altogether. This shape has an area of 6 because it has 6 squares that make up this shape. So which shape has the larger area? This one here. B, tick the shape with the smaller area. So have a go at this then. What would you do here? Which shape would you tick? Right, so this shape has an area of 7. So I'm going to write that down just so I don't forget. And then this shape has an area of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So which shape has the smaller area? This one, because the number 6 is smaller than 7. That means that this shape here has the smaller area. Now it is your turn. Here is a shape. Part A is asking you, what is the area of this shape? So off you go. Work that out for me. Okay. What is the area of this shape? So to work out the area, I'm going to count the squares up. Did you do that as well? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So the area of that shape is 18 squares because it is made up of 18 squares. Part B, draw a different shape with an area that is 2 squares larger. So the first thing I want to do is work out how many squares I would need then. Now, if it needs to be 2 squares larger, I need to add 2 to this number. So what's 18 plus 2? Remember, put 18 in your head because it's the bigger number. Hold up 2. 18, 19, 20. So I need to make a shape with 20 squares. Now, there are so many different shapes that you could make, so I would like to see what shape you make with 20 squares. Put it onto tapestry and I will have a look. Your independent tasks are as follows. You have questions 1, 2, and 3. So have a go at answering them, pause the video, and then when you unpause, we will go through the answers. Now, these are your answers. Question 1, write less than, greater than, or equal to compare the area of the shapes. Part A, this shape is less than this shape, because this has an area of 9 and this has an area of 10. Part B, this shape is greater than this shape, because it has an area of 12, whereas this has an area of 10. Part C, this shape is less than this shape, because this one has an area of 14 and this has an area of 15. Question number 2. Put these letter shapes in order of size. Start with the shape with the smallest area. Now, first I calculated the areas of each shape. So the letter that looks like a H but isn't a H has an area of 9 because it is made up of 9 squares. This has an area of 8 and this has an area of 10. So putting them in order, you would start with putting the C first, then the shape that looks like a H but isn't a H second, and then lastly you put the O or the 0, because 8 is smallest, then 9 is in the middle, and 10 is the largest. Question number 3. Look carefully at this shape. Part A. Draw a shape with double the area. So what I did was I calculated the area of this shape and then multiplied it by 2. So the area of this shape is 6. So I did 6 times 2 to get 12. So I would like to see what shape you draw that has an area of 12, that is made up of 12 squares. Part B, draw all possible shapes with half the area. So remember, the area of this shape is 6. So to work out what half of it is, you divide it by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I'm curious to see what shapes you create that have an area of 3. Part C, draw a shape with the same area, but is a different shape. So the area of this shape is 6. So all you have to do is draw another shape that is different to this, but is still made up of 6 squares. So I'm interested to see what shapes you create. That is all for your maths lesson for today, Williams class. Enjoy your shape creating, and I look forward to seeing all of your work on tapestry. Really, really well done for today. I'll see you very soon. Bye.